I wanted to ask, you showed us that copper artifact, which is similar in Vidarbha and Adichalanur. Are they the same timeline, different timelines? What's the timeline?
Yeah, almost in the same timeline. Here is little late. On Vidarbha is a little early.
So I have a question. I have a question, sir. If you go around Pondicherry, you would have seen there are plenty of pillars. For example, you have this Gandhi statue, which is surrounded by really tall pillars, and opposite to the Lieutenant Governor's residence also, there are a lot of scattered ruins of pieces of temples, pillars, etc., which are exquisite in nature. Even behind there's a French institute which is also again scattered with so many ruins and leftovers from temples, but they are all lying in a very dilapidated way. Nobody is taking care of them, and I am not sure whether your department is also involved in taking care of them or their maintenance. And many of them are being vandalized also. So what can be done? And for example, these pillars which are there near the Gandhi statue, where exactly are they from? So some information, if it is there on a plaque or something like that, would be very useful. So since you are in such a senior position in ASI, it would be great if you could do something about these.
Right. Actually, sometimes it's a very difficult by the single agency, either in the central government or in the state government, but it's a matter of local involvement of the people to save their heritage at least. The Archaeological Survey of India are normally responsible for centrally protected monument and their protection. But yes, we are supposed to support the state governments also. So there is a state department here, a state archaeology or a state culture department also responsible for protecting those things. And whenever the state is requesting us also to give the technical expertise and all that. We are always giving in many of the places to how to do. So it's a really a good thing you have raised this thing in this forum that the local people should take a lead for to understand to protect that. So it's a very important that in this area you got the temple and all that because it's very close to seashore. So this a really trade route for that time having some landmark to create some landmark or creating some temple, some other landmark also. So it's a good that the public involvement is very important to protect.
Dr. Manjul, two very quick questions. Number one, given that you said that you've got remains like millets, etc., at Killary, does that mean that it becomes easier to do carbon dating? Because I have read somewhere that these these food remains, etc., were not very common in many other Harappan sites, earlier antiquity sites. And number two, when you talked about what you saw in Pondicherry Museum, does that mean that we really need a further dig at Arikamedu because it could be much older than first century CE?
Of course. Yes, we got Harappan site also. There is a lot of charred grains to understand the food habit. And now we are doing the lipid analysis also to understand how they are cooking and they are using the oil and the meat or what are the food. So we have done so much of work in Harappan era to understand the food habit and crop, etc. Whether it's a single crop system or double crop system, or there is development of and also the change of the climatic condition and the precipitations of the rainfall, etc. That all related to the crop and the food habit and the settlement and also the making of pottery, because whatever you want according to that you make a pottery. And so that is the, if you have the variety of pottery, then you understand, and that culture is very complex. because the industrial people need the different thing, the elite people needs a different kind of pottery, and the ritualistic pottery is entirely different. If you have the very few pottery, it means having the settlement is very conservative, or a small settlement or village settlement having the limited use of that. So everything having linked with that. Like we got here some of the charred grains also, and some of the grains which is inside, and some of the things we have already dated, because particularly charred grains is very easy to dates, because that is a carbonized material. But other thing, now we have a lot of dating methods of bones, pottery, even the anthropogenic soil we are dating by the OSL dating. So now we have a lot of technique for the dating, and very precise dating in AMS date. In earlier the carbon dating having 100 or 200 plus minus, but now we have 30 or 35 years plus minus. So now it's a very precise dates we are getting scientifically.
Excuse me. Yes, last question. So this is regarding places of worship which has got huge archaeological significance. See, in and around Pondicherry, there are 5 sites, temples which are directly under ASI. There is one huge temple in Villanore, which is said to be around more than 1,000 years old. Okay, so some 10 years back, I visited your office in Chennai, okay, to request that they take care of that temple. But unfortunately, in the name of renovation, they've completely dismantled the old tank. It was a huge tank. It came in the Life of Pi movie also, okay, which is an Oscar award-winning movie. So I just want to know what determines. I just last minute. What determines what factors you take into consideration while deciding to take over a temple for direct administration by ASI?
Actually, there is a law, 1958 Act, and there is another law also. So we are following the law and the process to take over the temple. Uh, uh, if you have any request by the locals also sometime to get into the centrally protected monument, declare centrally protected, because in the Act having lot of provisions to and restrictions also. So it's depend on the state that if they are requesting to take over this temple, we are really thinking that if that has the central importance, or the importance, then we took over that temple. So if that has the state like importance, then state archaeology should take the initiative to take over or declare as a state protected monument. It's depend that whether that temple having that much of potential or historicity, or the artistic component, aesthetic components, historic components, and some of the legends on that, and also the willingness of the locals and the state government. Thank you very much.